My biggest challenge and fear was that very early on when I started to campaign, when I was out in the ward, it was diverse. I was meeting people from all different backgrounds and I felt that I belonged. But when I went to the council and I was in meetings in this archaic building, there was imposter syndrome. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel included. And when the questions were asked to me, like, you're the councillor? You mean you counsel people? So those questions actually didn't help me, didn't help my confidence, because I felt more and more like, do I belong here? This building doesn't feel inclusive. This building doesn't look like the area that I represent. And that was a challenge. That was a journey that I had to go through, because there was lots of conversations with officers in the council to say, these are the challenges and these are the issues that I'm facing and that are being raised by the local communities that I represent, and taking their issues and their challenges. And sometimes that took time, and it was a journey.
I think the biggest challenge and the biggest fear that I had around standing for election was just about putting yourself out there. It's quite difficult when you know, to kind of do that, and it's certainly the most strangest feeling in the world when somebody hands you a box of 5,000 leaflets when you've got your face and your name on it. I think particularly for women as well, to kind of put themselves up for that scrutiny. And that scrutiny doesn't just fall on candidates and politicians themselves, it falls on their family. There's been real improvements and a real recognition around the challenges that women face in public life, but I think that we could still go further to making politics more inclusive.
You have to really work hard at convincing people in your own party that you're the person to do it. And as a disabled woman, it's not always easy to convince someone, particularly if you're trying to go for a winnable seat, if there is such a thing now. But if you're going for a winnable seat, that now is the time to take a chance, as some people would see, on a woman, and in particular on a disabled woman.
My biggest frustration or challenge, I think time management. It's constant. Time is a time stealer. Just have to be really disciplined with your time and look after yourself.
There are a number of frustrations and challenges in Parliament, like there are in any job. The thing that frustrates me most, I think, about this particular job and in Parliament is never having enough time. There's just never enough time to do something. And part of the problem is that when you're hungry for change, like most elected representatives are, or at least they should be, that's why they're in the job, you can never do it quick enough. And there's never enough time to fit everything in. So I get very frustrated because I spend a lot of my time running very late for everything.
For myself, the biggest challenge when standing for election was that I worked a full-time job, quite a busy full-time job. At the same time, I was, for some of the time, also co-leader of the party. So my time was very, very limited. And it's a real challenge with the bandwidth to make sure that you're eating enough, sleeping enough, maintaining your relationships, and doing all that stuff to look after yourself, getting enough exercise, to make sure you look after yourself. I tend to stretch myself too thin, and then that's bad for my physical and mental health and not good for my relationships. So I guess my advice there is to make sure that you are looking after yourself. Take that time. No matter how busy you are, looking after your health and your relationships still needs to come top.